Hi guys, it's Nicole and I'm the grossest, and that's kind of gonna be the situation for the whole week. Happy VEDA Day 6. It's Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm glad it's not Wednesday because that would mean I have to double vlog, as in for Toad's Awesome channel too, which I am excited about, but I'm also ready to go to bed. We're reading passages from our favorite books, or maybe it's just favorite passages in general, and I have to tell you, I was struggling. Well, first of all, like I tweeted earlier today, I was like, where's my Kindle? Because at least I knew I had some things marked off in my Kindle, and that was a whole project, because when I finally found it 2 hours after I said that, under a pile of, like, quasi-clean clothes, it was completely dead. I couldn't even turn it on. I had to charge it. And then I, like, flit it off and went to class, and anyway, here we are, and I didn't have as much stuff set aside as I thought, and I knew, like, there are books that I go back to and I read, like, for the feeling, like, when I'm, like, super sad, like, really, really sad, I'll go back and I'll read, like, sections of Prozac Nation, and actually, like, there's all kinds of shit underlined in that book. I looked at that, but that is just too fucking sad to vlog about. Come on. But it's a great book. It is really one of my favorites. And it's one of those books that I can't even tell you objectively if it is a good memoir or not. It's by Elizabeth Wurtzel. But I've read it a long time ago. I've read it like a ton of times, and I just love it. In the same vein, Something Borrowed by Emily Giffin, like, read it a long, long time ago before, like, the movie was even an inkling in anyone's eye. And there's something I find comforting about reading, like, the first couple chapters of it. I reread the whole thing from time to time, so it wouldn't necessarily be esteemed as, like, a great piece of literature, but it's a great story, and it's well written, and I am comfortable with the characters, and there's something, like, really, like, coming home about reading it. That last book that I was telling you about, The Interestings, I'm crazy about that book. I love it. I only have, like, a couple of quotes pulled out, though, that I emailed to a friend. Like, it's, like, all about, like, the feeling that book gave me. And I forget, like, the time traveler's wife gives me a certain... I'm looking at my bookshelf. That's what I'm doing, not just randomly staring off. And then, like, there's other books, like Stiff by Mary Roach, I think is hilarious. And I remember just, like, laughing so hard reading that. But again, like, that's the feeling. Like, I do remember a particular part of it when she's talking about, like, heads and trays for training plastic surgeons. Like, there's images that stuck with me. And I remember reading Without You by Anthony Rapp, and I actually just flipped through that book a few minutes ago thinking there must be things underlined in it, because I remember reading that book and having it move me so much, and there's nothing in there underlined. I do remember clearly reading Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed, and that was in my Kindle, and that I did use the highlight feature for. So what I pulled out of there, because there were so many little gems in that book, oh my god, it was so good. It was so, it's her advice column from the Rumpus in book form, and I hadn't really been exposed to her before this book, and she also wrote the book Wild, which was amazing, which I don't think I have anything underlined in either, but she's just a really beautiful writer. My favorite bit out of the handful of things that I had underlined in there was, I suppose this is what I mean when I say we cannot possibly know what will manifest in our lives. We live and have experiences and leave people we love and get left by them. People we thought would be with us forever aren't, and people we didn't know would come into our lives do. Our work here is to keep faith with that and to put it in a box and wait, to trust that someday we will know what it means. And I don't know if that has as much impact without the context of, like, the question that someone wrote in and her, like, advice back. Because there's this whole, like, thing with there's a whole story that goes around it. So I don't know if that, like, resonates with you at all reading that, with me stumbling over my words, or if it can't stand alone, like, and I also, like, know that there are other things in the book that I had, like, set aside and underlined, and they resonated for me at the time because, like, how I was feeling, and they didn't so much anymore, or maybe, like, because it's advice and her thoughts, I was kind of like, oh, like, I haven't done that, or I now feel the opposite. I don't know. I'm being kind of vague. I don't mean to. But that's my answer for today. I will see you tomorrow, twice, both here and on Toad's Awesome channel, talking about organization. I don't know what our VEDA topic is tomorrow. All right. Good night.